Live Nation has potentially reached a settlement with the Department of Justice over its alleged monopoly on the live concert industry. Here to break down the logistics of the case is our 9 News legal expert, Whitney Traylor. Thanks for coming in.
Sure, good morning.
So we may not have a settlement.
Well, it's really interesting. So everybody's reporting that there is a settlement, but I was reading this morning that it's really just the terms of the settlement that have come together, but we don't know that. First of all, the judge has to sign off on it, but the judge was super frustrated because of how it came about. And he actually said, the judge asked the lead counsel for the Department of Justice, hey, when did you find out about this settlement? And the lead counsel said, I just found out.
Oh, wow.
So that means there were some executives at the DOJ, they bypassed trial counsel. And so now the judge, like I said, has to sign off on it. And it sounds like, because remember, this was a case that was brought by the DOJ and 40 states. And not all of the states have signed off on it. So if they don't sign off, they're going to continue with the litigation. So it's very unclear. There's supposed to be a hearing this morning.
If someone's watching right now and they're like, what are you talking about? Go back, get us up to speed on the case.
Yeah, that's a great place to start. So the DOJ is suing, alleging antitrust allegations against Live Nation and Ticketmaster, and the allegation is that they have an illegal monopoly. And the facts are that Live Nation manages a number of artists. It has control over a number of venues, and then Ticketmaster does 87% of tickets in the entertainment industry. And so what Live Nation would do is they put a full court press on these venues to say, you have to use Ticketmaster. And if they didn't want to use Ticketmaster, they would then move the venue. So this happened, for example, with the Brooklyn Nets, the owner. So anyway, I don't want to get into too many details, but they really pushed people around so that they controlled the venue, the artist, and the tickets. And so that was an illegal monopoly, and the DOJ had a lot of evidence against them.
This is so weird because it went to trial, but now we're talking about a settlement. Is that normal?
So sometimes cases can settle at the last minute, and it seems a little counterintuitive to say, well, if you're already in trial, right? They're in the first week of trial. It was supposed to go for 6 weeks, and they settle. And I've seen cases settle, honestly, as the jury's coming in. And the settlement discussions are usually ongoing even through the trial. And then when you get to trial, part of the reason that you settle is to save money, to take out the uncertainty of a jury. You don't know what's going to happen at trial, so you do want to settle. So once you get into trial, you've already spent so much money, it doesn't necessarily make sense. But a 6-week trial of this caliber is going to be millions and millions of dollars, so even settling now can make sense.
How would the settlement impact consumers? I mean, we're talking about monopolies, and they were controlling kind of everything. So how will this help out anyone who loves going to a Brooklyn Nets game or to a concert? Well,
the idea behind it is that the idea behind antitrust is to promote competition, because they say, look, if there's competition, people are going to give the best service. They're going to keep prices low because they know people will have a choice to go somewhere else. And here, the argument, a lot of people are saying, this is a slap on the wrist, because the terms of the settlement, even though we're not sure that the settlement's going to go through, some of the terms are that Live Nation had to pay a $280 million civil fine. They had to cap service fees at 15% on the tickets. They can only charge a 15% service fee. Things like that. And people are saying this is a slap on the wrist because Live Nation made $25 billion last year, $500 million in profits. And so that shows you the control over the industry. And so people are saying this was really a slap on the wrist. But the DOJ is saying, well, now that it's going to open up, there's going to be more competition, ticket prices should go lower. I'm not sure, actually. I do think this is a bit of a slap on the wrist. I think there may be some slight reduction in ticket price, but I'm not sure you're going to see something significant. So, and I think that's what the judge is also concerned about.
How much billion did you say?
$25 billion.
Just in the Backstreet Boys.
And that was exactly, that was just last year.
Wow.
Yes, so $500 million in profits. And so, there's a lot of concern that, hey, this wasn't a legitimate, they limited their exclusivity contracts to 4 years. Some of these things really, when you make $500 million in profits a year, that's not really significant.
Well, we'll be watching for sure.
Yeah.
As always, Whitney, thank you.
Sure, good to see you.
We'll be right back.